You forget when we increase taxes like we did with the sales tax, and I've called it a stimulus package for New Hampshire many times. Well, there were a lot of shoppers in Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, Vermont, and Maine who used to come here because the sales tax was a little bit lower than their state. So we forget it's not just about New Hampshire, it's about all of New England and competing against all these states. On the revenue side, as I said, taxes are high. I was an economics major, as it might not surprise you. I studied statistics. I went to business school. I did more finance. I did more accounting, and I did statistics again. So you're going to get a few statistics. The Massachusetts business climate and tax climate is ranked 36 out of 50 states. That's not very good. The only thing that could be worse is that the CEOs, when you ask them, think we're actually 47th. So we have a lot of work to do to attract businesses here and keep them here. I'm going to tell a story that Richard told last week in Dedham. I think it's a great story. 2008, we raised the corporate income tax here, and Bank of America had come to the legislature and with their lobbyists and that kind of thing, and to paraphrase that, they said, our cost of doing business in Massachusetts is going to go up millions and millions and millions of dollars. And we passed it anyway, and what we can take from that is, well, of course all the Bank of America branches are here, but the high-paying jobs in their private wealth area are now in New York City. The jobs we really needed, the high-paying jobs, the jobs that require quite a few support positions, those are now in New York City, but we can do better in the future. We know what to do, and we can do better. So the platform is being a fiscal conservative. One is reducing the spending, the unnecessary spending, and two is lowering taxes and bringing down the revenue. One thing Richard also said recently, and this will lead into a third part of my platform, Richard, was it half a day or a day the Senate spent on whether or not the fluffernutter should be the state sandwich? We have a lot of distractions going on. I often like to say, we all know the phrase, while Rome was burning. Well, in the last year, Massachusetts was burning, and we had a lot of things happening in Beacon Hill about fluffernutter sandwiches, illegal aliens and in-state tuition, and a lot of crazy things, helmets on toddlers sledding, and we've really taken our eye off the ball, and we need to get back focused on what's important. And one symptom of this that we have seen is that the ethical standards on Beacon Hill have been in a decline. We hear about corruption. Sometimes it's very, very obvious. If you take a bribe and stuff the money down your bra, it's very obvious when it's on camera. A lot of the other corruption, though, is legal and is largely hidden from view. It's about who gets jobs in this state, who gets state jobs, whose pensions get enhanced. And a lot of these things are under the radar, but there are a lot of things to do. I know we passed some ethics reforms this past year. I think Richard categorized them as just getting only the lowest hanging fruit. We have a lot more to go. In my business, and what I do every single day for my clients who are residents all across Massachusetts and right here in this district, is that I am their fiduciary. I can't do anything for them unless it's in their best interests. I'm not a broker. I don't work on commission. I don't think about myself. I think about them. And that, I think, is what we've been lacking on Beacon Hill recently, is that they're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about their pensions. We know everybody on Deval Patrick Street has a new job. At a time, in 10 years, we haven't created private sector new jobs in Massachusetts, but we've only created state jobs. But the population's the same. Where are the jobs going? So we need higher standards. We need people who take this seriously. We need what, in my business, we call a fiduciary. We need somebody to have the taxpayers back, watching out for their neighbors and residents, not by giving them jobs or helping with their pension, but by doing the right thing. And that takes a two-party system. We can't have a two-party system if they are only conservative Democrats and liberal Democrats. That's not a two-party system, and we can do better. With apologies to a very dear friend who's a Democrat and is here tonight, I told her it wouldn't be a big Scott Brown rah-rah session, but there are some very valuable lessons from Scott's election. I think it was Friday, January 13th or 14th. I did my first standout for Scott Brown. It was 7 a.m. It was 23 degrees. It was snowing. The first person I met, actually, let me say one more thing. It was still dark out, too. The first person I met was 75 years old. They had never voted for a Republican before, and I don't know what they were expecting when a few of us showed up. But that standout and two others in West Roxbury and one more in Norwood, what I noticed, and I think this is very important for all of us, is that Scott's support cut across all demographics. All 2,000 Republicans probably voted for him in the state. But he won 3 out of 4 independents and 2 or 3 out of 10 Democrats. And that is the climate out there right now. People who have never looked at Republicans before saying, wow, this could be something I like, and this is something we need. I had firemen emailing me. I saw policemen standing out with brown signs on Election Day. We had young people. We had retired folks. We had men. We had women. We had everybody out. It was unbelievable. I had to keep telling people, I don't have any more Scott Brown signs. They made their own. I didn't have any more bumper stickers for them. They made their own. It was really a remarkable phenomena, and I don't think it was just here in our district. It was repeated everywhere. So with that as our momentum, I think I will answer a question that has been asked to me 4 times tonight, which is, how can you help? What do I need to be successful? I know we have great leadership with Richard and Bruce and all the other elected officials, but we need your help. This race is not about me. It's about this district. It's about all of you. I filed papers on December 4th with the state office. I will point out that Scott Brown was down by 30 points that day. I know we're going to have a lot of candidates, but I was doing this anyway. What we need and what I've learned in that 6 or 8 week period, it really comes down to 2 things: money and volunteers. This type of race will be expensive. We'll be going against an incumbent. We'll probably get the city machine out after me at some point. And, we need donations. We already have a website. Everything is a lot more money than you think. Every yard sign, every bumper sticker. And so you're doing your part, and you're here tonight. And those are 2 important things. And the other third, but equally important thing is we will need hundreds, if not thousands, of man-hours, volunteers, whether it's knocking on doors, dropping literature, phone banking, all of these things I can't do alone. I will do my part. You have my word. I will knock on doors. I will eat spaghetti dinners. I will be everywhere. But I can't do it alone. And so I ask all of you tonight to support my efforts. And as I like to say, they're not my efforts, they are our efforts, because I think we can do better. And I've put it on my cards, on all of our campaign materials, because I do think we can do better in the district, in the state, and in all of our own lives. So with that, I'll say that thank you for any donations tonight. We need volunteers. You can sign up online. Robin, right here in the front, my crack campaign manager, will happily take names and contact information, although we probably have it. And I just really want to thank everybody for coming. We had to do it a little bit earlier so we can get Richard to his next meeting. And I really appreciate everyone coming out. And I'm going to be here until at least 8 o'clock, and I hope to chat with all of you. Thank you very much.